We are here with another Coffee Talk. Cheers with Eddie, Managing Director.
Good morning. Josan, everyone.
And we're at the studios of Waypoint Property Inspection.
Yes, the home base of Waypoint Property Inspections on the West Coast in Tampa.
Whoop. And today we want to discuss with all of our homeowners out there and potential homeowners about what items should you be taking care of routinely in a house. As a home inspector, you're going into a lot of homes and you're seeing things that aren't being maintained on a regular basis, which can cause issues when they go to sell the house or when just in general.
Yes, so in general, there's a lot of maintenance tips that we actually have on our website as well at waypointinspection.com. All you got to do is search home maintenance or maintenance checklist, and you'll see that checklist, and it's downloadable as well. But there are several things, especially like on a monthly basis, Denise, changing your AC air filters. We've had numerous recent, and you can see our Facebook page, Instagram, or what's that, LinkedIn. Sorry, I'm not so social media
technology challenged.
Yes, but we've had posts in regards to some air filters that really were past their prime.
I mean, the one looked like Chewbacca was living in the unit. Disgusting. So, at that point, it's not working at all.
Yeah, so one of the big things, especially because we live down in Florida, our ACs are on all the time. All the time. Did I say all the time?
All the time.
All the time. Yes. And the big thing about that is that, you know, as the air is going through your returns, a lot of dust, a lot of lint, cat hair, dog hair, human hair, a lot of things are going through the system. And you want to just change that filter out because you got to see some of the filters that we've removed from some of these inspections. So change it out monthly.
Yeah, I know, I do.
And you don't need to have those, 25 MERS or whatever, because that actually does block the flow of air into the system as well. But change them out monthly is the biggest thing, especially if you have air filters that are low to the ground, where, as you're walking by it, dust comes up, right?
Smart.
And even the ones up in the air, you can still see it where it does inhale. The system does inhale a lot of dust.
Absolutely. And I have cats, and I change it out monthly, and I'm always amazed at how disgusting it is. And then the cat hair is up there, so I make sure that I clean that, wipe that out, so it's not blocking the filter in any way.
And another part of home maintenance is the exterior. Especially now, we're in the thick of the summer months, coming towards the end of the summer. But in Florida, there's never the end of summer, right? Vegetation. Are you trimming the vegetation away from the property, because the house needs to breathe, right? If it doesn't breathe right, it's not going to dry right. Especially if the northern side of your house, because the northern side has the most sun, has the least amount of sun. And with the amount of rain that we've had, you'll know which one's the northern side of your house, because it's probably the side that has the algae on it as well, right? It's got a little green tint to it. And one of the things we suggest is actually routinely checking up on your the pressure washing, sealing up the cracks in the home, especially if you have stucco, because you don't want moisture to get behind the stucco, because moisture and stucco is not a good combination.
And paint doesn't last forever, so that's like your protective coating between the inside and the outside of your house and the elements.
Just because your HOA didn't send you a notification yet doesn't mean you shouldn't be painting, okay?
Right.
But the other thing too is caulking around the windows. Caulk doesn't last forever, no matter how strong it is, no matter how some of those say, it's very strong. But just to check, make sure it's sealed properly, because again, water and dampness and moisture is the biggest concern, especially in a home.
And speaking of caulking, one of the inspectors told me that they change out the caulking in their showers. More than I ever thought. Like, I know I'm not doing that, so now I know I need to do that.
Yeah, there's sometimes when we go into a home and we see that the home hasn't been caulked, and then what we do is we just pound on the tiles with our fist or back of our hand, and you can hear it's desponded. I've done it a couple of times where I hit it and tiles actually fell off. So it's time.
I lived in a house like that.
It's time to do the caulking, and even looking around your toilet. How many of you looked around your toilet to see if there's any leaks coming from around your toilets? Because from the usage that we have, it does cause the compression of the toilet seat.
And again, seals don't last forever. And people go back and forth. Should you caulk around the toilet base? Should you not? Because if there is a leak, then you don't know if it's caulked because it's not coming out. So,
yeah, and that's the thing is if you do caulk around the toilet, and I do recommend, don't caulk the entire base of the toilet so that you can see if there is a leak. Another area in maintenance in this regards is the garage. The garage is a big place. How many of you, how many have ever gone into their garage and say, why do I have this here? Because it was when I moved in, and that was 20 years ago. We have paint that's stored in the garage. We have gasoline stored in the garage. And then I've seen gasoline stored in the garage next to a water heater that's a gas water heater. A natural gas water heater. That's combustible. So that's dangerous as well. We've had chemicals stored next to electrical panels. And I don't know if anybody has, and I don't recommend anybody doing it, but not many people remove the cover of their electrical panels to see what happened to their electrical wires.
Right.
I just spoke to a recent electrician, one of my friends, I can say his name, Brian Hyman. He's a nice guy that I deal with all the time. And I said, do people ever call you up to retorque their electrical panels? He goes, seldom. He goes, but he does have several that do, because most of the times when people call him, it's because a breaker went bad or something happened to a GFCI outlet or AFCI outlet, which should be tested monthly to make sure it's operating properly.
And you can get one of those testers at Ace Hardware.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, the actual way to test it is to test it at the button that's there. You just test it on site with the button. If you push it and it doesn't reset, guess what? It's time to get a new outlet or breaker.
Because again, nothing lasts forever.
Yeah.
And every once in a while you have to change them out. Chemicals in the garage, they could be chemicals from your pool.
Yes.
Yard chemicals.
Any chemical at all that's in, even paint. How many people have paint stored in their garage that they painted like three times over? Or
they buy a house that already has old paint in there because people typically don't know how to get rid of used paint or old paint. Kitty litter, open up the can, put kitty litter in it, it solidifies. As long as it's solid, you can throw it away.
And I believe in especially just check your counties, because there are the waste facilities that do accept paint on certain weekends. I know in like Hillsborough, it's like the first Saturday of every month where they will accept used paint. Again, it's just a matter of declutterizing everything, because we seem to love to store things and say, I'll use it in 6 months, and then 3 years later, you're like, why did I save this?
Well, and our garage is typically our only storage space. Correct. We don't have basements here, and our attics aren't the safest place to keep things.
Yeah, so that's why you see so many storage units around. Everywhere you go, it's either going to be a car wash or a storage unit.
There you go. So again, home maintenance items, it's just like a car. Your house is like a car. You have to change the oil every once in a while. You have to change the tires every once in a while so that keeps you safe. Well, you want to keep your house safe and be proactive instead of reactive. Yes. So download this
PDF.
Yeah. I always suggest keep it printed on your water tank. Keep it printed in your house, and it's divided by monthly, quarterly, yearly, and also checklist for storms.
Yes. Yeah, that's the other thing for storms too. Are you prepared for the storms? Because a lot of folks think they are, and when people aren't, because when they say there's a storm coming, That's the first thing people go. They'll run to their nearest convenience store, and you'll see people coming out with 10 packs of water bottles and batteries and whatnot. So, be prepared for the storm and don't wait for the last minute. Storms do happen, and it may not be a storm because of a hurricane, because I believe recently when we had Debbie go by, I had more damage 3 days after when a microburst storm came by,
Oh,
and it caused a lot of debris to fall off of the trees. So it's not only just hurricanes; it's a windstorm event, and that's why we do have the coverage in regards to windstorms, because it could happen at any time. It's not just hurricanes. Be prepared. The other thing that people seem to forget is their batteries in your smoke detectors.
oh,
The good thing nowadays is that the smoke detectors have battery life about 10 years. But for the older ones, and you'll know when they're older, go to your home, look at your smoke detector, and if it's an off yellow color, it's probably time to change that smoke
yeah.
detector, because smoke detectors do have a shelf life of around 7 years.
And they're not expensive.
No,
And it's safety.
and it's safety, especially if you have a home where you park your car in the garage, whether you have gas stove or you don't. But if you park your car in the garage, you would want a CO detector as well, and you want it as close to the garage as possible. But you do want to update those batteries, because I always say, it's the one that goes off is 3 o'clock in the morning, and then you're going to trying to find it,
Yep.
and then you think you got it, you remove it, you take it off the ceiling, and then lo and behold, 20 minutes later, the other one beeps. So then next thing you know, you wake up fully in the morning, and you have 5 smoke detectors laying on your kitchen counter.
That happened to me a couple years ago.
Right. So change those smoke detector batteries, because your life is worth a 9-volt battery.
And a lot of these things that we are talking about, you can find on our search bar on waypointinspection.com. Type in whatever you're curious about knowing, and we probably have a blog or a podcast about it.
Yeah, I do encourage everyone to go into our blogs, take a look at it, and see what we have, whether it's safety, whether it's maintenance, or we have a lot of topics out there, in regards to plumbing, electrical, HVAC. We're here for you, and that's one of the ways we give back to our community, because the community is served us well. So thank you for your time.
True that. Have a great day, everybody. Cheers.